These are 100 Easter eggs that you missed in the recent GTA 6 trailer.
I can't believe we missed some of these.
Unlike Trailer 1, Rockstar actually provided some context for the story.
Wow.
Jason and Lucia have always known the
Oh,
deck is stacked
I
against them.
missed this.
But when an easy score goes wrong, they find themselves on the darkest side of the sunniest place in America, in the middle of a
missed this.
criminal conspiracy stretching across the state of Leonida, forced to rely on each other more than ever if they want to make it out alive. So we know that they are partners, clearly. They've had a score that's gone wrong, and they are now stuck in the middle of some sort of criminal conspiracy. So with that, we now have the context to start with the trailer. This first shot takes place in the Leonida Keys, which
Look
is
at
a
that!
real-life hotspot
Wow.
for drug trafficking, which we will get into later. Here is where we get our
drug
first
trafficking?
look at Jason's personal vehicle.
Oh,
Jason's
that
truck.
bit, bro.
Also, a new animal, an iguana, can be seen
Hey,
going underneath.
an iguana.
That
Here
one's
we
so
meet
cute.
Brian. Judging from the fact that the Florida Keys is a hotspot for drug trafficking, like I said, this matches with Jason's story, as he is living on a property of Brian's rent-free, which is implied when Brian says,
Seriously, dude, you got some time on your hands. I got some properties with paying tenants.
which most likely means that Jason is helping Brian with his work.
Aha! I didn't catch that.
Or he's not paying his rent.
That's what I'm thinking. He's not paying his rent because he's doing jobs for him.
No, or he's just late on paying the bill. But yeah, I kind of like yours too. Okay, let us know in the comments below. Have you
Let
missed
us
these
know.
Easter eggs or not?
A large
Which
container
ones did
ship
you know
moving in
already?
the background can be seen. And also, Jason's first line in the trailer is,
I'm just fixing some leaks.
which could be a really funny reference to the September 2022 leaks, and there is some more evidence.
I think yes, by the way.
I
In
missed
the
that.
next scene,
What?
a raccoon can be found going through a garbage bin in the background, and this is almost identical to one of the leaked clips. A 1950s car can be seen in rough condition on Jason's property and even has dirt piled on top of it from sitting so long, and this could be something to do with the Wyman's car parts that were found in the leaks as well. In this scene, Jason says,
See you,
Yo,
Brian.
what?
Love you, Jason.
implying that they have more of a relationship than just someone he's working for. Maybe his dad, we don't really know.
Nah,
Also, I'm
not
just
his
gonna
dad.
mention this once now, but the ray tracing scene in this trailer is unbelievable, and there are countless examples of how good it is. The windows on Jason's car are rolled down and set to 2 different lengths. The lady can be seen holding her dog, and on top of this, her car has paw prints on the hood.
That's
which,
so
just like
cool.
the cars we saw
I've
in
missed
trailer
all of
1,
these.
Yeah,
implies
same.
There would be
What?
a lot more personalization for vehicles. Plus,
Yeah, let us
her
know in
house
the comments,
background
which
seems
ones
to
did you
have a
miss?
modeled
I'm actually
interior, which
curious.
could be
Bro, I missed all of these
Rockstar's
so
new
far.
interior AI patent, which allows for interiors to be generated instead
Yes.
of just flat images like we have in GTA
That would
5.
be so
This is
good,
the
bro.
First good look at Jason in this trailer, and obviously from trailer 1, he has gone through a lot of changes, mostly with the hair and the scruffier beard. But my
Or he
theory
just
is
didn't
this is
shave.
actually later in the story than when we
Exactly.
first saw him in trailer 1. When
think that
busting
too.
open the register, the coins in the tray realistically slide with the movement of the
What?
tray. There's also a
What?
hookah that can be seen used in the store as well, and the phone number on the register starts with 305, which matches up with the area code
What?
of Miami. You
Dude,
can
Ah,
see
they're
the
so
graph on the
detailed.
side of the road for extra immersion, and one of the trucks has a hitch accessory, again adding to more vehicle customization.
That's so cool. I want to add things to my car. Sorry, just wanted to know.
Me too. Me
The
too.
license
We're gonna
plate on this
customize our
truck
I
cars
is
didn't
like
see
crazy.
any of
similar
these
to one
things.
you'd find in Florida. However, the truck in front of us is
Discover?
very weird. We know
Gloriana.
from the screenshots that Rockstar released that this
Ah.
says Discover Gloriana as it's shown on other license plates, meaning that Georgia has also been added to the game.
Yep.
Also, Peacock Bay is a new named location that we had no prior knowledge about. This part at the beach looks insane. I mean, the sand has some insane detail.
He's
the girl
strong.
walking by kicks up sand as she
Wow.
What?
Also, the dude is wearing AirPods, or I guess in
What?
this game they technically be called Fruit Pods. So
Fruit
maybe
Pods.
you can listen to music wherever, and headphones might become a thing. The beer in the bottle simulates light exactly how it would in the real world.
That's
It's
so
cleaning itself
crazy.
On top of the ATM. And overall, this seems to
missed
be
all
an
of this.
average convenience store.
I swear, I did not see that cat. Have you seen that cat
I missed
before?
all of this.
Bro, like, what?
But obviously, the detail has been taken to a whole new level. There's also a very funny ad for something called
Vape?
Vapomint, which means that there won't only be smoking, but also
Oh my
vaping
god, they're
will be
gonna
making
the
an
game's gonna have
appearance.
vaping.
In GTA 5, NPCs would normally just be killed by cops on the spot. In this scene, they are actually doing an arrest, which indicates more lively world events. Accurate contrails from the plane above, and here we finally learn the full name of our two protagonists, Lucia Caminos and Jason Duval. The cop can be seen moving certain objects around dynamically, and the sound of it moving is accurately distorted by the microphone the guard is using.
Duval.
I think you heard before.
Yo.
You might have.
Also,
Audio
how long
defense.
do you
What?
think it'll be before someone counts the amount of holes in this window? When getting out of prison, Lucia is now wearing the ankle monitor that could be seen. in
Oh
the
my God,
scene
what?
released with Trailer
I didn't
Park.
even see that.
Is more noticeable in this scene later. Also, sexy
It's
time
been in
part
multiple
one.
scenes.
This line of her saying,
How did I see that?
makes me 100% confident that this actor is Manny L. Perez. Not that there was much
Oh,
debate anyway.
100%.
The monitors in the bank have gone into lockdown, presumably because of the robbery.
Ooh,
Don't take
cool.
this the wrong way, it's in the game. But the beer is called Pendejo, which is most likely the GTA version of Modelo. Ducks can be seen in
Yeah.
the water now.
Love a
as
good
well,
Modelo,
Ducks
man.
confirmed.
From the leaks. And
Quack.
also, the amount of boats seen in this one area
Quack.
proves that the ocean will have a ton of interesting events going on instead of just on land like most games before. Here we can clearly see the drug trafficking we talked about earlier, as they are loading what is most likely drugs into a Dodo plane. Once
Oh, I
again,
thought it
this
was
is
just
taking place
suitcases.
at Brian's Boatwork and Marina, which indicates that
Somebody
it's the
call that
same
number.
Brian we met at the beginning of the trailer, and even Lucia can be shown doing community service while wearing a Brian's
Oh.
company hat, which means he will play a big role.
Oh, that's
in
that
this
guy.
game. Jason and Lucia have a pet snake, so whether
Oh
or
my
not we can have
goodness.
more pets is still yet to be seen. This is the first time
We
we,
need Chop
meet
back.
Cal Hampton, Jason's friend and business associate. He could be the equivalent of GTA 5's Lester, as his description has him feeling safest at home while snooping on various radio comms. Okay, now, first of all, goddamn. And second of all, this is the same dress that Lucia was wearing in the car scene during trailer 1, which most likely makes them a part of the same sequence. This
Oh.
nightclub that they're in is the same nightclub that was being promoted by the plane in one of the intro shots of
What?
trailer 1. Also,
Who
the NPC
discovered
density
this?
I
is
don't
unlike
know.
anything we've seen in a Rockstar game before. They are quite literally everywhere. People are seen pressing Jason about being a Fed, which could give some reasoning to the theory of Jason being a cop. And there could even be more evidence of this later in the trailer. When we see them trying to escape the apartment, Lucia is wearing the exact same outfit she was wearing when they robbed the gas station at the end of trailer 1, which means that this is most likely the same apartment as the trust scene.
And they got your name, address, they got everything.
Now, assuming
I got
they're talking
everything.
about the cops when Brian says this as they show up in the next scene, this would then disprove the Jason is a cop theory somewhat, but there's still something more I have to bring up. There is a theory that this is Raul Bautista, who, for all intents and purposes, is our Michael from GTA 5, a seasoned bank robber. However, judging from the small amount of screenshots and info we have about him, it doesn't really look like the same person.
Nah, that's not
With
him.
that, I'm gonna leave the debate to you.
Just another
think
old
so?
man.
But in the scene where he says,
Us cops, we gotta protect each other.
in GTA 5, there was no scene where we heard Steve or Dave, for example, talking where the protagonist wasn't with them, which, following that standard, would mean that this could potentially be Jason standing off to the side. Here
Ah.
we get a first look at the drive-by mechanics and see that Jason is leaning his entire body out of the car, which is a mechanic that was confirmed in the leaks as well. We can see a working Metro at the top of this scene, and this is also our first look at Bay Lux, who is a part of the Real Dimes influencer group, who is basically a rapper and just a social media star. This shot takes place in Port Gellhorn, which is also where the final shot of the first trailer takes place. Jason can be seen tossing a dude into a car, which implies better combat, but there's also probably more going on here since a car has exploded in the background. Here we can also see Lucia's combat ability, and undoubtedly Lucia is going to be a fighter. On the Rockstar website, it even says that Lucia's father taught her to fight as soon as she could walk. In fact, on the website, it says that fighting for her family was what landed her in the Leonida Penitentiary, and sheer luck got her out, which calls back to the beginning of trailer 1 when she says,
"Bad luck, I guess."
Jason calls Lucia Lou, followed by "we got this," and then Lucia replying saying "we got it," implies once again, like trailer 1, that trust is going to be extremely important in this story. This explosion is worlds above anything I've seen in games before. Also, notice how the lighter SUV is blown away from the explosion,
And there's a
while the riot
shockwave.
van is only nudged by the shockwave.
There's a what?
Which indicates
Oh,
there's a
shockwave.
with cars. Lucia's hair can be seen blowing around from the explosion, and also the grenade launcher is appearing once again. We can see Draquan showing Jason a video on his phone, which may imply that we can take videos with our phone as well.
That's cool.
Fighting in the wheel compartment of an airliner
This is crazy.
confirms that vehicles other than cars will have detailed interiors as well.
This is gonna be
and judging from
sick.
how far away the buildings are, we aren't nearly enough for these to be clouds, which means that dense fog will be a new weather effect in GTA 6. Here we have a clear Fast and Furious 5 reference with a safe being dragged around by a car. And it's hard to notice, but the oncoming car stops in anticipation for the reckless driving of the pickup. We got Sexy Time Part 3, and here we aren't sure who this is yet, but taking a video with his phone hopefully proves what I thought from the earlier scene. This is Vice City Boulevard, which we saw in trailer 1, but this time from a different angle. You can see a ton of new cars, and again,
Look at
more
those
crazy
cars,
customization with the rims
I'm
on
Jelly
the
Green car.
Benefactor. And
What?
as a nice touch, the Bravado Banshee is once
The
again
Banshee,
making
let's
a
go. We
return.
spotted this, Jelly.
Needless
Yeah,
to
we
say,
did.
The night scene
We
is
did.
going to be insane in this game. Now, this is a cool fact. The president on the bills thrown around in the club have the presidents from RDR2 on them.
Wow,
Now,
okay,
it's
that's
hard to
cool.
miss, but obviously, there's a PS5 controller on the table and what
Yeah,
looks like
I
a
saw
PS5, which is hilarious product placement from Sony since they have the marketing rights to GTA 6. Ammunition is making a return, except now it's called Phil's Ammunition, and there will probably be different names for each
Oh,
store.
can't wait to
This
check out
is
all the
most
weapons
likely
and
Jason
Oh, that's gonna be
Lucia's
sick.
house that takes place in the Gator Keys, as you can see the bridge in the background. And the level of detail of this game is immense. I mean, you can see the foam level on the beer. And not
What?
only that, but the beer can be seen bubbling inside of
look
the
at
bottle.
this.
The
This was
operating
crazy
light
when
on
I
the
saw it.
controller behind the beer bottle is being distorted by the liquid in the beer.
Why?
The couch cushions compress as Lucia's weight is added to them, and also the tiles by the door are now pulled up, which wasn't present when Jason walked into the house at the beginning of the trailer, which implies that this
House
takes place later
customization.
in the story. The
Come on,
Buzzard
give us a
attack
house
chopper is
customization,
making
please.
a return, but this time it has unique weapons on the side, and it looks like Brian is manning one of the guns. In fact, this scene and even the next look very similar to ones we saw in trailer 1. You have the airboat going through the Everglades, and in the next scene, it looks like the Dad Bod Squad from trailer 1. Also, just to the right of the boat,
yeah.
you can see the extremely tall tower that we saw in the first frame of trailer 1. This scene could be in-game footage, as the light just isn't quite as strong as some other scenes in the trailer. But another small note is that Jason ducks his head very slightly as the plane passes overhead. Here we can see what looks like an in-game version of the Corvette C8 that drives by
Yes,
Jason. And I'm only
100%.
assuming it's Jason because the same bike he jumps off of is the one he was driving in the previous shot. Every building in this shot has what appears to be modeled interiors, but again, this could just be the interior AI. However, it is important to note that the Megamundo building seems to have way more detail on the interiors compared to the building beside it,
I'm
meaning
so
this is
curious.
most
I'm
likely
so
an
hyped.
enterable building.
That's
Time
crazy,
4,
man.
But also,
one more
this
year.
room looks identical
One more
to the room
year.
that they were in during trailer 1 when they were talking about trust. Shooting from inside the boat isn't new from GTA 5. However, the detail of the bullets hitting the helicopter is a lot more realistic. Bullet impacts now create an atmospheric effect when hitting the road. You can see an NPC about to hop onto the window of the car to fire a rifle, which means that that mechanic isn't limited to just us players. And as well, Mariana County, Vicedale County, and Draper Island are again all new named locations. we
Draper
didn't-
Island.
Yeah,
Draper
Jason can be
Island.
seen jumping from vehicle to vehicle, which is basically just an upgraded version of what we had in RDR2. And here, Cal can also be seen wearing a Brian's Marina shirt,
yeah.
which implies all the characters are connected. Also, there is a boat being worked on in the background, which implies
Boat
boat
customization.
customization as well.
Yes!
Jason's
That's
motorcycle
sick.
makes another appearance
gonna
like
be
it
cool.
did in trailer 1.
I love the
However,
customizing.
this
Yeah.
time, one
Vehicles,
of the doors
cars,
is a
house.
different color.
Jelly, I need to ask everyone, let us know in the comment section below, what Easter eggs have we still missed?
I know,
and
right?
which ones are your favorites? Because there's so many cool ones.
Many of these
that
I
just
didn't even know.
discovered.
These are all new to me. That's just crazy.
Almost all of them. That's insane. See you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.